Good evening. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. I want to share with you briefly what I call clarify your thoughts, and with the subtitle "Business is Tough," especially at the beginning. There is a white saying that goes that if you continue to do things the way you've been doing them, you would continue to have the same kind of results. Most people want to start business, and when they start and things get difficult, they become desperate, they despair, and most of them become a bit worried. They become hysterical, because to most people it didn't have to be difficult, it didn't have to be tough. You just had to have the money, you just had to have your customers coming, you just had to have your team working to perfection, you just had to have everybody agree with you, and everything will be smooth, as they say it in the books. Not like that. Not like that. Why you think is even tough is because you came into the business with a certain way of thinking. So you were not clear as to what it takes to build a business. So you assume that once you start, everything should be perfect. And if things are not perfect, then you'll be the one going for prayers. You're the one looking for the prophet, and some others will be looking for the malam. Some others will be looking for what we don't know. The thing is that until you are clear in your thought, and part of the processes, the difficulties that you meet when you start your business, the essence is to purge your thinking so that you can become clear as to what to do to get results. And depending on how fast you learn and how versatile you are in terms of you becoming better continuously, will decide how soon you get clarity, or you are able to clarify or get clear in terms of your thoughts. Because it's not that the difficulties that you meet when you start a business or when you start anything is so much or they are so much insurmountable, so to say, but it's because the blockage is in the thought. It's not really the problems that you meet. No, it's the thinking pattern that you have, the mindset that you have. So the most difficult thing to get over when you start a business is really not what you call the difficulties. It's you growing to the level where you are able to think as those who become successful in building business. There's a certain level of thinking, there's a certain level of consciousness, there's a stage where they look at issues. If you don't get to that stage, it will be tough for you to keep running the business, or to even stay in you starting the business. Because a lot of people come in with all kind of assumptions when they start business. Some people start the business, they think that they will make a lot of money in the first few months. Some people maybe started with a partner and they thought that the partner was an angel and that they would give their 100%, and it didn't turn out to be so. Or some people started and they had never been in trouble before, they had never owed anybody before, they had never made any mistake before, and then they bump into this business, and the next 4 months they have debt to deal with. Those are not the difficulties, those are not the problems. The problem is your thought, how you think about what starting a business is, how you think about what you call problems, and how you even think you have the skill to solve the business problems that you're going to meet. Because business is a problem. Now people, most of these the talk shows that you hear around, people encouraging people to start business, which is good. I am actually of the opinion that most people, looking at where the world is going, and looking at the Africa and the environment and everything, I think that a large percentage of people would just have to build themselves to do something for themselves. Because you are producing so many people, and the industrialization is not as who are the industrialists anyway? Who are they? And so you would have to have a skill to do something for yourself. Even those who are even employed, very few people are even very much happy with where they work, and even with the kind of salary that they pay them, on which the businesses can even afford to pay them, and the kind of vision that they have for themselves. So whether you like it or not, if you want to live the dream, if you want to have a financial freedom, if you want to live your dream, if you want to have that peace of mind, if you want to express yourself, there will be some kind of endeavors that you would have to take on your own, and when you take them, there will be problems anyway. You'll meet difficulties, because if it were that easy, everybody else will succeed. And so the thinking, the things, how clear you are in your thought, how you see what you want to achieve, and your understanding of the stages, the processes that you have to go through to get to your goals, they're very much important. Because sometimes it's not even a problem, it's just that the way your level and the maturity level that you have, and the so-called difficulties that you think you have, and how you are approaching them, may be the problem, but not the problem itself. What you call problem, or what I call problem. When we started, there were things that will probably make you panic, from the beginning. But it gets to a point that you get a bit, they will happen, but it's not like you are so much concerned anymore, because you have seen a lot of them. Now you can see a little better. You can look at something with a different perspective, a better approach, because you have become better. And so clarify your thought. What are your thoughts of the finances? What vision do you have for the business? What did you even start the business? What do you want? Is it because you want extra revenue, or you think that you want to build a company, or you want to help your country to develop? What is it that you have? What character would you not compromise? Are you going to lie to people to cheat? Are you going to be consciously lying to people because you want money? Is it just about money? And are you ready to do anything just to get the money, or you would want to be patient to build business one stage after another stage? From my little experience, I think that if you start business and you decide to be honest, you decide to treat people well, you decide to focus on the future of the business, think of the prospects of the business, look at the kind of people who will become your partners, and look for good-hearted people in addition to the technical skills that they have. If you would want to start the business with maybe very little money, and as you grow, the business generates the revenue itself, there's a better chance of you not giving up. But if you start the business and you are not clear in your thinking, and your focus is just on the money, and you are ready to cheat and lie and do anything to get the money, you will have difficulties, you will have troubles. And if you start with a lot of loans in building a business, you would have a lot of difficulties. You would want to become a bit skilled, a bit better, a bit more experienced before you would want to even bring some people, people's money and things like that. You would want to have a bit more exposure, a bit more skill. So, but if you're not clear, and which most of us are not, so if you're not clear and you start, you see that you miss a lot of things. You put a lot of things together, and by the time you see it, you are in a different difficulties altogether. And that's why people say that it is tough. Usually it's not that it is tough, it's just that you are not clear in your thinking. You're not clear in your thinking. Your thoughts were not that clear, and that's why the mistakes will peg you. All the mistakes that you make, the mistakes happen because you're not clear. It's as simple as that. If you were clear in your thought, the mistakes will not just happen like that. You will be able to, yes, not everything that you can control. Some things will be within your domain, some things will be within your control, but some things will just happen because you are just immature. Just that you are not clear in your thought, and as we think, that's how we act. So what we think about is what we produce in our lives. So if our thought pattern is wrong, is not clear as to the ideas that you want to realize, the business that you want to build, those lack of clarity will manifest in your life. They will show. They will show in the way you handle the finances. They will show in the way you work the business. They will show in the way you handle your partners. They will show in the way you handle your suppliers. They will show in the way you you serve your customers. They will show in every way, because you are not clear. Today you are saying this, tomorrow you are saying that. You don't have convictions. Those should not be problem. So long as you are continuing, you continue to learn, you continue to become better, you get clarity of thought. So it's not so much the difficulties that you meet, but it's the lack of clarity of thought that we have been told to have. A lot of people get superstitious when it comes to trying to do something with their lives. So they feel like they are powerless, and some divine power somewhere is responsible for them to become successful. And this is very difficult for you to tell, especially those of us who were born Christians, who go to church all the time. Your success is really, depends on your thought pattern. Your thought, the way you think, is responsible for the successes that you're going to enjoy, because the way you think is going to be responsible for your actions, and how you do things. And if the way you think is wrong, your actions will be wrong. So you meet difficulties in your business, and you are saying that it's demonic, it's satanic, somebody is somewhere trying to do you medicine, and you don't even have, maybe you have never even track your finances, those that are going in, those that are going out. You don't even know your strength as a business person. You don't even know your weakness. You don't know the market that you are in. You just have, some faith in God that things will work out, and that's what they have told you. And so after a while, and you see that things are not working out, you think that is spiritual, it's demonic. No, there are a lot of things in this life that can be done clearly if you have clear thinking. If you have clear thinking, there are a lot of things that you can succeed in. And you can look at the numbers. You go around, you see people who are doing very good businesses, who are very clear in what they're doing. Go and see how they do their things. A lot of them are very much organized. They're very much organized. They're very much clear. A lot of them know what they're doing, and where they fall short, they continue to grow. So if you talk to them, you see that those who are succeeding, they think in a particular way, and they think that a lot of things are within their reach. Those that are not within their reach, they leave it to God, but there are a lot of things that are within our reach. And so if you clarify your thoughts on that pattern, there's a lot that you correct by yourself, and then you see that things start to get better. So when you meet the difficulties at the beginning of the business, don't just brush them off and say that is somewhere, and I have to go and just pray and declare fasting like a lot of people do. If you want to declare fasting and pray for souls to be won for Christ. Pray for people who are sick. Pray for people who have problems. But when it comes to you succeeding in your business, don't waste time. Get clarity of thoughts. You'll succeed. Plan well, think well, do good, treat people fairly, treat people honestly, work hard, put in the hours. Get clarity on this, and believe that nothing that anybody else is doing somewhere will affect you, and you will succeed, no matter the problems that you meet at the initial stage, because everything from the beginning or at the beginning is tough. It's just the fact of life. It's tough not because things are tough, it's because you don't know much when you're starting. You see the people who train to lift load metals. Some people can lift very heavy metals, but they could not lift it the day they started training. They trained, and they became better. They trained and they became better. They trained and they became better, and then they could lift heavy loads. So is with your endeavor. So is with your business. If you continue to train, one of the best things that you don't have will be courage, persistence, your ability not to give up, and never to quit on yourself, never to quit on your business. It does not mean that you don't improve. Improve yourself. Continue to improve yourself. Read books. Continue to talk to a lot of customers. Continue to work on your product. Continue to develop yourself. And when you meet difficulties, don't quit, because that's how things are. But see, when you have wrong thinking and you meet difficulties, you start to blame somebody else. You will never look at yourself to say that what is it that I don't know? What is it that I have taken for granted? What is it that I assumed? What are the difficulties that people go through when they are doing business in the community that I'm doing business? This kind of business, does it even succeed in this kind of area? What kind of employees do I have to have? How do I handle my finances? Is it even right to deal with this kind of bank or the other kind of bank? There is a lot that you would have to clear in your head. And most people don't even clear that, and they are waiting for they are blaming another thing somewhere. And the way our environment has become now, there's a lot of things that will not make you think clearly. There are a lot of things. There are so many things that will not make you think clearly. And large of it is religion. A lot of it is the politics, and sometimes even the school that you went, the kind of college education you have can be a block between you and you getting to your goals. Because sometimes people hold so much, they attach so much importance to the school that they went, the degrees that they have, said that if they see something that they have to take risk, that will help them to build something, that will help them to have financial freedom, that will help them to express something out of their soul, they still think that they would have to work with their degree. So they spend 5 years getting a law degree or engineering degree, and they see something that has nothing to do with engineering. Most people will find it very difficult to shift. But what is important is that in this life, if you want to succeed, you just have to go at it. And you should be ready to sacrifice whatever you have to sacrifice to go for your dream. After all, the school and the science or the marketing that you went to do, your father chose that course for you, your mother chose that course for you. Most of us, when we were doing the science at the secondary school level, it's because you were maybe as usual in a community. If you're an intelligent student, they send you to science. So it really didn't mean that you had that passion for it. And maybe after the science, you went to do medicine or you want to do engineering, things like that. So if you didn't choose the course yourself, what do you entangle yourself so much, so that the certificates that you have would want to prevent you, or you would want to let the certificates prevent you from getting to your goals? No. If you want to build businesses, don't let your degree become a block between you and getting your business. Sometimes the idea, you just have to go as low as anybody else to build that business. The school should not be the one giving you the pride. It's the realization of your dream. It's the financial freedom that you want, the realization of your dream, the business that you have built, the product that you have built. That is a proof that you went to that school anyway. The certificate is nothing. It's what you do with the certificate. So the clarity of thinking. Some people, as we see it, we attach more prominence to certificate. Say that, people will even ask you, what are you doing with your school? What are you doing with your school? Build your dreams with the school training that you had. Build your dreams. Build something. Build a product. Build a business. Build something with your school. Not the certificate. Don't pride yourself with the certificate. Who cares about the certificate? It's what you do with the certificate. And that's why people who hold so much esteem to the certificate, when they see another person who does not have that certificate and who is achieving something with his life, they get angry. No, in this life, you achieve something by taking a risk, by taking a step, by getting to do something you are not even sure that it will succeed. That's how you achieve anything with your life. So get clear on some of these things. That the fact that you have that degree does not mean that you're going to be successful. The fact that you have that degree does not mean that you're going to have money. No, and money is important in this life anyway. The fact that you have that degree does not mean that they will want to give you that position you are going to deliver. No. You went to school, that's fine. But it has no guarantee to you becoming successful until you become successful, until you decide to become successful, until you look beyond the school to reach where people can trust that you will deliver. People can trust that you work hard and you work well. You get results. When they commit something to you, you are able to do it and do it well. Those have nothing to do with a lot of the noise that people make with their school and things like that. And so, if you're not clear, the school will block you from getting to your vision. They should never stop you. We went to school and so what? Or sometimes people's job, people's profession. You are doing something somewhere, you work in a company, and maybe you've been able to develop a business alongside, and you see that the business is doing well. Most people will still want to hold on to that position because that position is seen in the society as very nice. And so they still struggle with their finances, and they see this business can explode for them to become financially free and for them to do something more significant with their lives. But they will never dare to do that because of the image that they so care about in the society. Because who wants you to say that you say Gary? No, because you have MBA, And so this, that you are selling this salt, and this salt is making more money. You are that passionate about it. It's exploding every day. You are getting new ideas, and yet because of the aura of the culture, what people think about what you're doing, you would rather not dare to go and focus on that. You rather want to keep that manager that everybody will greet. But you know that in yourself, you know that you're not satisfied. You know that you're dying every day because you want to explode. Why? Because of the lack of clarity of thinking. Because you think that you went to school and you have you are a manager somewhere, and everybody you give your car to people, but you know that that idea can work. If you are not clear in your thinking, you will never pursue that dream. You leave it. Because you lack clarity of mind. Because you so much hold on to the certificate. You so much hold on to that profession. You so much hold on to what society thinks, culture thinks, what people around you think. So it means that you are not clear. And all of us at a point in time, you are never clear on what we are doing. But if you start on anything, as you continue to do it, and as you continue to upgrade yourself, as you continue to develop yourself, you will get the clarity. And between you and the realization of your dream, of your business, and on a large scale, is the clarification of your thought. And so, if you're not clear on your thought, you will hang everywhere. You hang in everywhere, and people's thought, people's perception, people's ideas, people's concern will become your concern. You worry so much about what people think because you don't have clarity of mind. You don't have any conviction. So you want to please people other than pleasing your dream, pleasing yourself, working to pay the price for you to get to your goals. And it's if you live in our kind of society, we are very communal. We are very much into each other's business. Maybe it's everywhere, but I think ours is over the bar. So people are afraid to take risk. People are afraid to dare. People are afraid to challenge things, even if they don't even they don't get results. People don't question anything because of the upbringing. We've been doing it, it's not getting us results, but still we still want to hold on to it. Why? Because people want to be seen as respectful, and they conform, and they are not contrary to what people think. No, if you are wanting to succeed, you have to follow your dreams, and you would sometimes disagree with what people think. And the other lack of clarity is where people give their power so much to, especially those of us who go to church, give our power so much to other people. The man is a pastor, the man is a prophet, the man is something. So you go there, they call you, hey, you come, I see this, somebody's going to die, somebody's going to kill you. No, get clear on your mind that you are in charge of your life. You're responsible for the results of your life. So another person you don't know anywhere should not call you and say, I see this, and you start to shiver. You start to worry. A lot of them, they're doing it because there's a market for it. And some of them you are even more enlightened, more educated, more exposed than them, but because they carry Bible and they carry the name of God, they have gotten a lot of us confused. So there's not much clarity of thought. And when you say these things, people will challenge and say that it means that you are not for Christianity, you are not for this. No. But who was there when these guys said that God called them? Were you there? They are telling us that God called them. But when God was calling them, I was not there. The only proof is that I can question what he's doing, whether it's right or not right. And a lot of them, what they are doing is that they are confusing a lot of people against their destiny, against their vision. And so you want to start a business. If you are not clear in your thinking, you are the one who wants to go and ask the prophet, should I start this business or should I start the business? And so if the prophet says that don't start business, you never start. Because you're not clear in your thought. You don't feel like you're a full human being. So somebody else should help you. If you're religious, what prevents you from talking to God directly yourself? Why can't you ask God yourself? Why can't you read the Bible yourself? Why do you have to depend on another man to teach you everything? If I teach you for you to continue to come to me and for me to feed you, and you're not teaching yourself, you're not learning yourself, I've taught you wrongly. So if you're not clear in your thought and you meet difficulties in your business, you will not look within yourself to look for answers. You jump from this man to this man, this man to this man, this man to this man. And that means that you're not clear in your thought, which means that you will not reach that level that people achieve a lot. So clarity of thought. Clarify your thought. Get to know that you are also a human being with the right to choose and to design the life that you want. And so don't let the school prevent you from thinking clearly. Don't let the culture prevent you from thinking clearly. Don't let the religion prevent you from thinking clearly. Because they are confusing a lot of people nowadays. Where people are ambitious, they want to build something. But because they were brought up in a consult, what is it? It's a corporate. Okay, we live in a culture which is very everybody is into something that, and most people are not convinced to dare to go something against what everybody knows. And you cannot build a business if you are that which you just consult everybody's opinion and you never stand for anything. It means that you're not clear. You cannot win. Most often than not, you would have to go out with your conviction. Because if you go with your conviction and you meet difficulties, it's a conviction. You will stay with it till it succeeds. And so don't get confused. A lot of people are very much confused. And I think that much of the confusion is coming from the God factor, the church factor, the prophecies that they're telling people. Because you are going to meet difficulties when you start. We met a lot of them. But at a point, I knew that it didn't matter. And that if I had to continue to go, something else will come out. That's it. Why? Because of the level that I was starting from. The ignorance, the lack of exposure, the lack of skill, the assumptions that I started with. Yes. You may be better. You may not even be starting with a lot of assumptions. You may even be wiser. You may even be more connected. You may even be more endowed. So why are you afraid? What? So get the clarity that, listen, this thing I'm embarking on, there could be anything. And if anything happens, it does not mean that some demon somewhere is after me. It's just part of the process of you trying to build something. So get that clarity. Don't let anybody confuse you. Because they are all over now. You are in your office, you see that somebody will come and open a Bible and say that God told him to come. And I'll tell you, go away. Which God? I'll just let you go. And sometimes it's not that they are dirty. Sometimes some of them are very powerful and they are on TV and they are confusing you. Because you think that building a business is cheap. No, the building a business is not cheap. Building a business is not that soft. It's not that easy. It's tough. And it's very tough at the beginning. But it's tough because of a thought pattern. If you grow in thinking, the same difficulty will not be tough. The same difficulty, you just see it and you see something better out of the same difficulty. Why? Because now you have clarified your thought on what you call problem, what you call difficulty. So if you went there and they told you that they don't want to do business with you again, if it's your first time, you'll be very much pain. You'll be very much sorry. You'll be very much sad because you were that much convinced that they will work with you. After they have refused you for about 10, 20 times, you don't care that much. You still go to another one because the refusers have made you to think clearly a little. And so get clear. It's going to be tough if you start business at the beginning. And never worry. And our kind of environment, that's how it is anyway. You meet difficulties. And sometimes you meet a lot of young guys who start businesses and they meet difficulties and they want to stop. Why do you want to stop? It's part of it. You think that the people you call successful, they didn't enjoy anything. That's a lie. They continue to enjoy a lot of things. And for you to build a business to make revenue in big figures, 6 figures, it's not that simple in this kind of economy. And so you start and people abuse you, people lie on you, people treat you badly. Don't worry. It's part of it. It will not be constant. It will not be forever. A stage will come that you will pass and you become a bit more skilled, and somebody will look at you and say, how did you start? You only stayed. The only reason you are going to win is because you didn't leave. That's the only reason. The only reason that you will succeed in your business is because you made that decision not to leave. And that decision will only come out of clarity of thought. That's why people who succeed is out of the clarity of their thought. They decided that, listen, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to keep at this thing. I'm going to work. If it doesn't work today, it will work tomorrow. If this method did not work, the other method will work. If this partner left, another partner will show up. If this financier ran away, another financier is somewhere looking for me. It's a clarity of thinking. You don't think that everything is against you. No. It's just a stage. It's just a stage. But a lot of people, see, in this life or in this world, a lot of people who have never done anything are the ones who are going around advising people to stop what they're doing. The people who have done something genuinely don't just tell you to stop. Most people, many of them, will continue to encourage you to keep at it. Why? Because they have gone through the same processes. They passed through that first stage that you are at. Now that you are double thinking that, does it even worth it? And it really comes to people who had education and who had some employment somewhere, especially those who came from abroad. When they come from abroad, they think that they are wise. So maybe they come with money, they come with some professional education, some, all kind of things. And then they start, and it gets difficult. When it gets difficult, they can't believe that they are the ones making those mistakes. And because they have other options to go and look for a job or travel again, they would always contemplate on that. No. If you want to succeed, keep at it. If you go back, you will go back and come back and start at the same level again, because it's a test. Everything that you start, you'll be tested. How would we know your strength if you're not tested? How do we know your persevering spirit if you're not tested? And nature will test you anyway. To know your strength, do you qualify for that kind of stage? You have to prove your responsibility, and part of it will come from the test that we get when we start. So when you came and you started the business, and your brother that you thought was so much faithful, you found out that all the money that you were sending, he actually used it to build his house. And then the other person that you trusted so much also squandered the money. And the other person took the business away. All kind of things you will hear. It's just at the beginning. Never quit. Why? Because you even gave them that because you did not have clarity of thinking. And it happened to everyone. You see, people give up easily because they think that the thing that is happening is only happening to them. No, it happened to everybody. So don't beat yourself so much. When the losses come, when the difficulties come, when you start, when the problems show up, don't beat yourself so much and think that the other person that you see who is trying to do well at the next stage didn't go through what you're going through. No, they came in a different form. They may not have gone through the same thing that you're going through, but they had the same kind of challenges. They had challenges, they had difficulties, because it's part of it. Those things come to make you clear in your thinking. And until you are clear in your thinking, you can go to the next stage. Because we all have a lot of assumptions, especially about business. People who have never started a business have a lot of assumptions. Until you start, then you see that the assumptions don't work. What works is the results that you're getting. And so if you're failing at it, it means that there are a lot of things that you don't know. And therefore, you just have to be humble enough to say that I don't know this, I don't know this, I don't know this, I don't know this. How do I get to know them? Then you go to the table again, go and start. When others are sleeping, you are calculating. When others are sleeping, you are making calls. When others are sleeping, you are, when people are watching football, you are not watching football. You are looking at, how do I make this business work? Because this is your game now. You are training as a professional. The people who box, when we are sleeping, they are training in the gym because they want to win. And that's how you win in business. That's how you win. You stay put at business. And so when the boxer who is training, when he hits that thing and he gets pain, the pain does not stop him from training. All the things that people stole from you, all the things that people denied, people lied, people create a lot of challenges for you, should not stop you from getting to your goals. They are just part of the training. But if you're not clear in your thought, you will think that you are wise. You're not that wise until you're doing it for results. Until you have the results, you don't even know it. So head knowledge is one thing, and the knowledge that produces results is another thing. They are not the same. And that's what beats a lot of us who have education. Because you think that the ones that they told us in the classroom will work. They just were to serve as a guide, as guideposts. They don't produce the results. It's all the ones that you do, that you correct on the ground. Those are the ones that produce results. So I'm talking of clarify your thoughts, especially when you start business. At the beginning, you meet a lot of challenges. And there are a lot of assumptions that we all have. And these assumptions are coming from our background, our school, training, are coming from professional training, are coming from even religious beliefs. There are a lot of assumptions that we had from there. And so your ability to even handle the finances when you start, there are a lot of assumptions there. If you were not taught right, you will start the business. Maybe you had 100,000. Then you go and put all the 100,000. You go and build an office, put furniture there, buy a car, put 3 employees there, and you have never run a business. And that is the money you have. No, don't do that. Set the office in your home. Test the idea. If you need somebody, don't even employ them. Just tell them that, listen, I need you to go and do this for me. I will pay you this. Test the idea for 6 months, 1 year. And if it's working, then maybe you can go and get an office. But don't spend so much to create an office. Buy furniture there, put telephone there, put secretary there. Those are all waste of money. Until the business is bringing in revenue to take care of those, you don't need those. Especially if it's the money that you had to work to save. Don't waste that money on that kind of extravagance. No, you don't need that. Test the idea. The essence is the testing of the idea to make sure that the idea works. If the idea starts to generate revenue, then the savings can help it. Then you become clear. You see, the thing about the money is that if you have the money and you are not right in thinking, you waste it. And the business may never even get you one revenue. So you see some people, they want to open a barbering shop, say. They design the place so nicely. They push all the money in the barbering shop. No, just make it moderate. Test it for 2 months, 3 months. Look at the kind of people who come there. Can they pay what you're charging? And will they even come? Do you know how to manage a barber? Those guys who cut the hair. Do you know how to manage them? Do you have an idea what electricity is coming every month? Do you know whether AMA will come and tax you? The tax people will come and tax you? Do you know? You have no idea. So don't start it from that pitch when you have never done it. Start it with a little. Design it nicely a little. Don't spend that much. Spend very little. Let the business start to generate revenue. Get to understand what you're doing. And then the money that you have can be used for the growth. Not the testing of the business idea. And that's where most of us make a lot of mistakes. Where we spend so much when we are testing the idea. The idea has not even brought any money, and yet you have wasted all the cash on it. You give up, you go back to work because you were not clear in your thinking. You're not clear in your thinking. So you read MBA, so they told you all those, and you use all the money to model and say the packaging. And no, you don't need all those. Test the idea. Become better with the skills that you have to manage a business. And test it. And be humble enough to just be like any other person. If you don't have to have a car for the business, it doesn't mean anything. Put the money there. Keep the money somewhere. Just get some trotro or some taxi. Test the idea. And as you continue to test the idea, as you continue to grow, as you continue to understand what you're doing, then maybe after a while you could be, putting money in the business. Because the thing is that the people who even when you don't understand it and you go and employ all these people, they will be taking the salary and they will do nothing. Because you yourself, you don't understand what you're doing. And so they will sit in the office and take all the salary. By the time you see it in your third month, all your money is gone. And your business will fail. Why? Because you're not clear in thinking. And it will even be tougher if you had to borrow that money to do that mistake. Because then when the business has folded, you will still be dealing with the debt. And so clarify your thought. It's not every mistake that we have to commit. We don't have to commit every mistake to succeed. There are some little things that we can clarify. All of us want to achieve something with our lives. Just be clear that when you start, there will be difficulties. And the only person who will not make it work. And you see, the thing is that it doesn't matter who left the business. If you are doing it, it doesn't matter whether your partner left or your workers left. It doesn't matter. It's like taking trotro. If I take trotro from Achimota to Circle, so long as the trotro driver is in it, we can jump. You can stop at anywhere. People get on board and people leave. It doesn't matter. So far as he's ready to go, we will reach there. So you, the business owner, you, the promoter, you, the idea generator. So far as you stay with the business, it doesn't matter who leaves. So far as you are becoming better, because at every point somebody is there to work with you. You just have to become better to know what you're doing. So if you're not clear, you will believe in the facade, you believe in the pomposity, you believe in the packaging, and that's what a lot of people believe in. No, you don't need a lot of noise at the beginning. At the beginning, you want to conserve a lot. You want to conserve a lot of the resources that you have to make sure that you have tested the place, you have tested the economy, you have tested the product, you have tested the business, you are a bit clear as to what to do. Then you will start. Because when we started, we made a lot of errors. Almost every error that you can mention, we made them. Why? Because there were a lot of foolishness. There were a lot that we did not know. So as we kept moving, we began to see some little light. We began to understand some things ourselves. We began to see right. We began to develop some robustness. We became a bit more resilient. We became a bit more tough, or tougher. Why? Because you keep going, and once you're going and you're learning and you're going and you're passionate and you're learning, you become clear. Then when you have bigger amount, you'll be able to do something. And that's why the people who are successful, that's where they start to be successful, because now they understand a lot about what they're doing. And once you understand some things about what you're doing, you start to succeed. So the battle is to get you to be clear in your thought at the beginning. So the toughness, the difficulties that you meet, they are just indications that you are not clear as to what you're doing. And so you would have to push more to get a lot of things separated in your mind. Your thoughts about some of the things that you hold so dearly may not be that much even important. For instance, a lot of entrepreneurs worry about what people think about their failure. You don't care. No, you get to a point you don't care what people think about what you're failing. No. Or who you owe or what didn't work. It doesn't matter. No, you don't have to care. Because the people who are concerned about those things are people who have never done it. Who genuinely have not studied the process. If you have studied the process, you know that it takes different paths for everybody. But so long as the person is at the vision, so long as the person is at it and is moving, you'll succeed. So get clear on that. Don't confuse yourself with the finances. Don't create any facade for anybody. Stay with the little that you have. And when the money even starts to come in, you still want to keep your moderation, so that you can push the money into the business for the business to grow. And when you have created mess, don't run away. Stay with the mess. Correct it. Because by the time you correct the mess that you created, the debt that you created, the problems that you created, by the time you correct them, you have become another person. And that is the border that most people don't cross. So by the time you have crossed that, you see a whole different paradigm. You see a whole different world. You think people are talking to you, but the way you look at life is different now because of what you have endured, what has gone through you, what you have handled, what you have experienced. They make you a different person now. You can see clearly now. When they give you something small, you can do magic with it. Why? Because you have gone through the process. So clear your thought. Clear your thought. Clarify your thought. And don't let the difficulties stop you. Especially at the beginning. Never. Never. And don't hold all those certificates in so much noise. They don't mean anything. What you want to do is to have a vision and realize your dream. And if the school was important for the vision to be realized, fantastic. If the school was not important, don't let the school stop you from getting to your dream, your passion, your business that you want to build, the finances that you want to control, the financial freedom that you want, the expressing of destiny that you want. Don't let those things stop you. And don't let any religiosity stop you. Where you put your time is where you're going to get results. Where you put your energy, that's where you're going to get results. Where you get a lot of knowledge, that's where you're going to get results. Where you focus is where you're going to get results. So if you're building business and your time is not in spending to build a business and your time is somewhere, you will not succeed. You will not succeed. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you. So clarify your thought. Clarify your thought, and it's not that difficult. After a while, it becomes very easy. So thank you very much for watching.